Hello and welcome to a work in progress episode on Captain's Dry Dock. And in the dry dock today, we're making themed protective coverings for the First Order Stormtrooper armour. Let's make it real.
517 to scanner control. 517 to scanner control.
The first piece of armour that's going to get the protective bag is this shoulder belt. In fact, it comes as a pair. So this has been painted as well. It's lovely and shiny and blemish free. So first thing I need to do is get hold of some muslin. This is muslin. It is a really nice, cheap fabric. It's very light, and as you can see, the weave isn't that thick. You can kind of just see through it, and it comes in different colors. Usually it comes in the cream or white color, but I got this in black because I want to have this coordinated with the First Order Stormtrooper outfit, which is obviously white and black. Each piece of armor will have its own protective bag. So this one is specifically made for this shoulder bell. So there'll be one for the left and one for the right. So they're going to be extremely well protected. Now this is pre-cut, and all I need to do now is just fold it over. And that's it. It's going to be a very, very simple construction. And so all I need to do now is actually sew this seam, and this will be the opening. Before I actually construct it and stitch it all together, I need to stop this fraying from happening at the edges. And to do so, I'm just going to fold it over just around about 5mm and then make a stitch all the way down on the edge, and just one side of the edge where the opening is on the bag. And then once I'm confident that it's actually on the right path, I can just speed up. Yes, by no means am I an expert on sewing. I'm purely an amateur. However, if you've got any suggestions, or just let me know if there was a better way of doing this, just leave a comment down below, because I love to learn and just get better. But for this purpose, they're only just storage bags, and all the stitching's internal. It's not going to be such a big deal. The string that's going to do all the drawing is this paracord. Now this is a nice cheap 4mm white paracord, which is a nice contrast to the black bag and goes with the theme of the First Order, the white and the black. Now for that to actually work, and I need to fold it over just by perhaps a centimetre, and I'm going to stitch just along here, just where the original stitching is here. And all I need to do then is feed this through. So this is how it works. It's basically sandwiched in there and then sewn there. What you're looking at now is the inside of the bag. So you see the flap which we just done, that's where the paracord's going to be housed. And yeah, this looks all messy, but that doesn't matter because this is going to be sewn inside. Now to do so, I need to flip it the other way. So this is the outside, and then fold this over. So essentially you're looking at the bag inside out. So I'm going to stitch along here and along here. So this is why it doesn't matter with this looking all ugly, because it's not going to be seen. And then I'm going to pull it all the way inside out again, and then it will be invisible stitching and we'll have a bag. There we go, it's all stitched up, just a few little snips there, and I just have to pull it inside out. And this is the magic. I love this bit when it comes to sewing. Now I pulled it inside out, which means you'll see no stitching. And there we have it. It's as easy as that. A very simple bag, and now I just need to put the paracord in. So I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it around about here so it's equal with the other piece of paracord, like so. And as you can see there, it's already fraying, and to stop that, need some fire. There we go. Even though I've finished the bags and they work perfectly, I need to label them because there's going to be quite a few pieces of armour and I don't want to faff around going inside each bag trying to work out what's what. So what I'm going to do is make up my own labels. So I've gone onto Google here and I'm going to copy this logo, which is the First Order Stormtrooper logo, and I'm going to bring it into Adobe Illustrator. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to make my labels based on this logo to give it a nice theme. Now I'm going to make this editable, so you can do this in Adobe Illustrator to JPEG. So if I just click onto it and click onto Image Trace and then go over to the options, ignore white, and then the magic button expand. And what that's done is made it all editable. So now I can edit this as I see fit to get my final design, which now looks like this. You can see the theme already, so there we go, there's the shape of the logo. In fact, the original logo is right there and it's reversed, and I've got the description of what's inside the bags, which is the First Order armour. And the reason I've done that is because I want it to be a nice theme to it, it's all connected, as well as the fact that I already own my New Hope armour as well, so I don't want to get things mixed up. Then I've added a nice stylized line here, which looks kind of futuristic and empire-ish. And then most important thing, the description what's inside the bag. And that is shoulder bell left. And obviously I'll make a shoulder bell right as well. On the left hand side, I added some fluff, which I just thought was nice little Easter eggs. So in America, there's a special forces, I think it's the Navy SEALs. They use the term God Core Country as where their loyalties lie in priority. And I thought I'd do something cool like that with this. So it's Emperor, Empire, Legion. And then on the right hand side, you've got the Stormtrooper TK number, which is TK-069. And you can take whatever interpretation you want from that. But I made that one up for myself. I'm not part of the 501st. So that's my one there. So you might actually want to ask the font. So this is a Star Wars font. And there's a fantastic website called dafont.com. It's great. You can download any of these fonts for free, use them for your own personal use. All I did was click in here and put Star Wars. Be careful not to click into here because it will take you to some other websites, but just here, and it has all sorts of themes, and there's a huge selection of fonts to choose from. And with this one, I chose Death Star, downloaded it to my PC, and then used that on the final label, which turned out fantastic. Now the next stage was to print, and not just any printing. This is a special transfer paper to iron on to clothes, and I've used this before and it's superb. In fact, it washes great as well. What's special about this particular one is that it's actually used to iron on for dark backgrounds, and you have to be careful because if you order any transfer paper, specifically one for light backgrounds, if you want to use, let's just say white, that's not going to show through. So this one is great if you've got white text and you want to put that on a dark background. And this is what I've ended up with. So I printed this, and it's using just the standard settings that you would do printing an MS Word document, and I've printed off these labels. Now I have to leave that to 5 to 10 minutes to actually dry properly before I iron on. Now it's properly dried, and all I need to do now is peel off the backing. Now this is a great thing about this printing paper is that you don't have to reverse the design because you iron straight on to the ink part, which is very unusual. And how you do that is with this silicone sheet. So with this pack, you get a silicone protective sheet, and that goes straight on top like so. Now it's really important to actually make sure your iron is not on steam, but just hot, because you don't want any steam touching this. And then just slowly glide over the design. It doesn't have to be too long, but just enough to get that to adhere to the cloth. And every so often, what I like to do, I like to just peel away, have a look, make sure it's all good and it's not burning. And actually, that's not too bad. It really doesn't take that long to set onto the cloth. Now, if I just take that off, and there we go. That is all set on the cloth, and it follows the contours of the cloth as well, and the texture underneath, and it looks like it's all part of the same thing, and I love this. I'm not quite finished yet because when I actually pull these cords, I want to be able to lock this off, not with a bow or not, because it will be an absolute faff to be able to do that and undo it all the time I want to take out my piece of armor. So I got myself some cord locks. Now these are very familiar, you get them on most bags, and this is about 1 millimeter bigger in diameter than the actual cord. And I just press down and pop through one of the cords, press down again and pop through the other cord, and there we have it. So now I've got something that will lock off this bag and it works perfectly. And now if I bring it back up, there we are. So that is a winner. However, again, detail. This is a bit ugly, and also this lock can easily slide off and just, you know, get lost. So what I need to do is actually bind these together. And to do that, I'm going to repurpose heat shrink tubing. Now, if you're familiar with electronics, this is the kind of thing you use when you've got some bare wire and you need to insulate it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick roughly a tube which will fit the 2 pieces of cord. And then I'm just going to slip that over there. And with a naked flame, as you can imagine, it's heat shrink tubing. The heat will shrink around the end of the paracord, meaning that will bind together and actually be kind of neat as well. And you can see how much it's shrunk compared to its original size. So that's nice and tight. And to make it neat, let's cut off the end. Yeah, John, but they make protective cases and bags for things like this anyway, so why don't you just do that and be done with it? Yes, I could do that. However, I wanted my armour to have a story behind it, as if I was a trooper and I was presented this beautiful armour, and how would it be bagged and basically presented? And so I came up with the idea of actually making a protective bag for each individual piece of armor, and it will have its right label and look really cool, because ultimately it would be great to open this armor up when I put it on and just feel like I'm getting into the role of being a First Order Stormtrooper without having to kill any Jedis. And as you probably know, if you've built armor before, it's a bit of a nightmare for storage and making sure it doesn't get damaged along the whole journey of making your complete kit, because you're popping it behind, I don't know, a bookshelf or in a wardrobe somewhere, and eventually it's going to get scratched and dented, and by the time you finish your kit, you have to repair it. So this is another great way to actually get into the discipline of making really nice protective bags for each kit as I progress. And so by the end of it, not only will it be protected, but it's going to look cool.